So, hi guys, hier ist der Steve aus Shanghai. Okay, so I want to show you something that you lose the fear to work with ComfyUI inside, outside Flame, with Flame as an VFX pipeline. So I will start to show you something. I have something in hand, you know, that's my Space Navigator 3D mouse. I open Cinema 4D and I have an object, and as you can see in real time I just maneuver around. I can, how to say, in real time check the angles, everything from whatever. Yeah, cool. Okay, let me make it like this. Now I check my render settings. It's redshift, of course. And let's make a UHD. And I only want export one frame to the desktop. But stop, okay. What we see here is a regular image. So this I don't want to save. It's too boring. I want to save a multipath, right? And this multipath I want to save to my desktop, and I name it, Aston Martin AM, okay, AM, Multilayer EXR. Okay, so it will end up on my desktop. So the format, of course, it's not PSD, it's OpenEXR. 16-bit per channel. But okay, let's go fat, yeah. 32-bit. Multi-layer file, blah blah blah. Everything is set as it should. So now I go in the redshift. Render engine, well, progressive passes, I don't need so much. It's just, I make 200, yeah. Let's make it 200. Automatic sampling, yeah, everything is fine. Motion blur, I don't need now. Globals. I let everything, yeah. Global illumination. Caustics don't need. What? Caustics don't need, man. So now I go to my channels, to the multi-channels. Of course, base file name is this. We go on float 32 bits. Multipart. Compression. Okay, we use bits. Compression level 15. Scanline. So I will, okay, let's check it. So what do we want? I want a beauty pass, right? Multipass. Then I want ambient occlusion, of course, AO. Then I want normals. There's going to be a normals map. Cryptomat, of course. Then Z, here it's called Z, I can rename that. That's the huge thing, right? So every application uses different names for the render passes. 3D. So of course main actually, main is the image, that's normals, but we have normals already. Okay, we use that. N channel position map, maybe. Let me find the position map. reflections, I won't have specular, shadows. Yeah, position map. That's, you know, on the world, position map, everything. Shadows, okay, I put them all directly in. So what do we add more? Motion vectors, of course. I mean, right now we don't have a motion inside. I just render one frame. But, you know, okay, what do we have? We have a beauty path, ambient occlusion, of course, normals, cryptomat, set depth, main, normals, reflection, specular, blah, blah, blah. So we have a lot of things here inside already. And I think that should be enough for now, you know, to make it an example that we can use. Yeah. Is there something else? System. Okay, I make it a little bigger here. Yeah, whatever. Okay, cool. So Cinema 4D, we have that. Let's find an angle what we want to render somehow. Maybe let's go with this. Is that okay? Okay. Maybe something like we could later put on the street. So that's fine, I think. So render to picture viewer. Right now the picture viewer goes on. You see it's rendering. Let me bring my monitor down here. This is my system monitor. Yeah, I can put that on the other side, maybe somewhere. No, it don't goes out of the screen. System monitor is just for me to see what's going on. So okay, it's rendering, as you see. And I think it's gonna take a while, but anyway. Meanwhile, we render one multi-layer, multi-channel EXR to the desktop. You know, I just hide it and I go to Flame. Here I have another one. Here already I have one EXR inside. Let's have a look at this. Okay, it looks just like a normal render. If I go in this, how to say, timeline, in the source line here, we can see EXR and multi. Double click on multi. Gives us, you know, the front, or, you know, the alpha channel. Or the background, of course, is nothing, is black now. Beauty path, yeah. Then the normals, okay, here, hold on. The normals are here written in the N channel. Yeah, it looks a little bit bright. Color management I don't need here. Oh yeah, I need, of course. And what else we have? Position map, yeah, that's the position map in the world position, you know. Reflections. Oh, that's quite interesting because from what I want to play later in ComfyUI is I want to work with the reflections. You know, adjust the colors, make some color correction, and just for the reflections and give it a little shiny blur, you know, on top. So, but okay, specular lighting, we see nearly nothing. I see just 2 or 3 dots here. That's all. So fine, okay, that's Flame, right? So we see our frame. Meanwhile, the new frame is rendering now. It's still rendering. So I will see when it's finished, when my monitor goes back to normal. Okay, so meanwhile I can switch to ComfyUI. As you see, I have ComfyUI in the browser. I make a reload here. Yeah, reload it. And I press V. It means it gives me the input as it is. Make it a little bit bigger here. So let me explain what I have done here. This is the input group. Here I have the possibility to load any sequence inside the folder or just one frame. Let me explain. Okay, color space is linear. I like to work in linear because it gives me, the input will be the same like the output. If I mess around, I can do it, but it's not requested here. Normalize, yeah, true or off. So image load cap means how many frames you want for a test run to load into the system for processing. Skip first frames, okay, that's self-explaining. Select every one or every second or every third or every fourth. That's cool if you later want to make super slow-mo or something. Yeah, that's possible. So we don't need to have, or ML time warp and Flame, we know. But it's not pretty fast on Mac. So that's why sometimes you can use AI or machine learning interpolation in that external flow in ComfyUI. Because ComfyUI, right now it's on the same machine as Flame, but the normal case should be you have 1, 2, 3 or 4 Flame seats in the studio and the client sit in, and you have somewhere, air-conditioned room with a server rack where the ComfyUI and all your render and frame store and so on is located, and hopefully with a fast connection. There are so many options right now. Okay, we go back to ComfyUI. Here, this for example is a multi-EXR loader. If I double click here and I just say division, I have different options, right? So many things. I have another loader here, that's the normal EXR load node. And this is just for, bread and butter daily sequences that, that you get from footage, where you don't need render passes from live footage, I mean. So just, okay, I put it here in. If I make Command B, it will be muted. Let me explain the second node, what we see here on the screen. This is the EXR layer list. Normally in the beginning it's empty, there's nothing in. So I need to make one run, as we see. I make one run. And then if the first processing goes through, this node fills up with the information coming from the layers, from the cryptomat, because the cryptomat is not only one mat, it's it's a combination about different elements within within the render. So it only have two inputs, layers and cryptomat, and here we have a layer list. Okay, let's make something like show me a text, show text, whatever. Show text, so we see that's a little empty node. And this is perfect for monitoring. Let's have a run. We run it once, okay. We see, okay, this is the execution node, always have, gets a green outline. So what we have here, okay, show text right now shows, okay, we have RGB layers, AO, ambient occlusion, background, beauty paths, bump normals, diffusion filter, main, matte, motion vector, NP, reflections, blah, blah, blah. Then we have mask layers, especially the depth map coming already from, oh, I see the render is done. The real render is done. Okay, we will work with that very soon. And then we have, of course, here we have the CryptoMat. So this node I don't really need. It's just for me to make sure, okay, my system works. So what I have done here is I use a reflections path. Okay, put it in a reflection path processing pipeline. It's just a group. It's the same as you can do in batch, Flame. So I make it a little bit more bright, and I put a lens blur in, and to get an idea of what it does, I make a preview image. As a node, of course, it's empty now, so let's connect the output from that lens blur in that preview. Wow, we have a preview now. Okay, and this preview, as you see, is already blurred, Let's compare it to the original, where it comes from. So the reflections, we compare that. This is the normal reflections. It's a little bit dark, so to make it more visible, I could, lift it up, as I did here with the color correction. No, this is just for preview. It means you can mess around. This is your playground. And it's quite funny, and meanwhile ComfyUI works pretty well. So let's have a look at our new image. It must be on the desktop, I think. I will drop that into real one. I go to user home, desktop, and we have a new image, an EXR. But no, not this. This one. Where did I save it? That's quite. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's it. I think. Let's switch back. No, that's not the image. Look on the desktop. Okay, we have one. We have an image, but I see this image is, it looks black. Why it's black? And I have here, what's that? Okay, that's the movie we're working on. Oh, sorry, I speak Chinese now. Okay, back to Flame. I go on the desktop one more time, make a refresh. And we see hopefully our new render. Okay, this I put in the timeline. Let's have a look. You see that's exactly, the render out of Cinema 4D. So I can, that's it. Cinema 4D I can kill now because it eats too much resources. So back to Flame. I see, okay, it's an EXR multi. Double click on that multi. Let's have a look what's inside. We have the front, of course. Then we have our beauty path. Then we have our normals. Oh, pretty strong this time. CryptoMat. So, okay, CryptoMat, of course, you see all the different elements there triggered. And right now, let's check the depth, maybe. Okay, here we see nothing because it's a matte, and in ComfyUI we can use that matte, convert it to an image, make a preview of the image so we see the depth. We will do that in just a second. So the main output is a combination of all. Motion vector, there is no motion inside yet, but the point is if you generate, in Flame, motion vectors or external motion vectors coming from, CG, you're pretty much able to use that anywhere else. Okay, motion vectors, standard normals, and position map. All right. And reflections. We just see a little bit. Specular lighting. Okay. Also just a little bit. And shadows are pretty much black. So, all right. So this is Flame. So what I can do now is normally from my timeline, I can go to ComfyUI, process it with ComfyUI. So and here inside that, how to say, beautiful, inside that beautiful window here, I have a lot of, you know, EXR roundtrip, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, all the, how to say, the workflows from ComfyUI are saved inside. If I want to do something special, for example, this one, I confirm it. Right now I can change everything what should happen. For example, we make a princess out of that car, or we say it's just a supercar. Supercar, and I can confirm, and if I confirm it, then we will see something happen here. But what I want is, first I want to go back to my ComfyUI and check here my input. So here I will drop that in first from the desktop, that AML. This one looks black, it looks pretty much like nothing, but we know already this file is pretty much contains everything for Flame and for everything else. So I copy this, I bring this to ComfyUI, into the output folder, into Flacom, yeah, paste it in, right. So just for example, so I want to open this file now. Then I want to see the processing from, and you will see everything change. Yeah, everything change because we have different passes now. What I do, make a reload. Now we see, okay, we defined an AO, you know, ambient occlusion, beauty, bump normals, cryptomat, depth, main, motion vectors, NP, reflections, shadows, specular reflections, and they're connected. So, okay, I dropped it off, okay, guys. Let's make it like everyone would make it. Input, output, EXR layer list. Wow, we see already, okay. I connect the layers to the layers, the cryptomat to the cryptomat. I make one run. Something happened, yeah, we saved that image somehow. We don't need. I can mute it for a second. What I want to see is I want to list what's going on there. Show text. Show text. Text list to the text list. Run it. Wow, we have an input. Okay, now we see our defined, you know, render passes here in. It's cool. It looks like it works. What I want to do now is I want here, I built a group, reflection pass. I want to see only the reflection, and the image goes back into the cipher node later, because first I define, okay, here I get my outputs, So I need to gather and combine the channels or multi-layers again, right? So there we have EXR layer gathering. Wow, it looks already filled up. So, okay, what I have done, this image goes back to reflections, and I want to see a preview from that process reflection from this one. Yeah, let's have a look. We can make that a little bigger here. Just run it. Wow, cool. This is already blurred, but not bright enough, right? I want to make it, yeah. I just want to see this. Run. That looks pretty much like a reflection map. Nice. Now I want to see the main output. There's a preview here. I just put it here. You see, you can play around with everything, and here you can make also color correction, for example. I put the main in, then we can rename the group. Whatever. Well, yeah, color correction. It will be too bright now, but just let's have a look. How bright it really looks. It will be super bright, yeah. But, you know, yeah, looks cool to me. And a little bit down. I make it not too bright. Saturation goes on 100. And I play around with something. Okay, it's white, so we cannot shift the hue. But you get the idea. So I make it cold. Yeah. Where is it? It's frozen. One more run. You see, ComfyUI actually, it doesn't have to use AI models for generation. There are so many things are possible, combinations like in Flame. The point is, once you define a workflow, this one is a workflow, right? So we have a workflow, we can save it as, say this is today, it's what, day 15 April test session. So I saved that workflow, and later, as you can see, I have somewhere here 15 April test session inside. So I can load it whenever I want. I have many different workflows here, as you see. Predefined for Flame, of course. And different use cases. Audio also a lot. So, okay, we have the layer list. It lists all the layers that are available within that EXR sequence, coming from CG. Then we have some, whatever pipeline, what we do with this images, or, with the passes. Okay, let's have a look at the depth. Okay, I want to see. The depth actually was invisible in Flame. It was just white, nothing. And here I make mask to convert mask to image from the depth. Right, and the image goes in my preview. Now I want to see what the depth map looks like. Yeah, run it once. And I see, well, it's a perfect depth map. 32-bit, of course. Nice. Nice. So I don't need to convert it, depth goes to depth. Let's have a look here at this depth. As you see, it goes here to this. AO, we don't have ambient occlusion, there's nothing behind or in front of it, that the light bounces off. The beauty pass goes to the beauty pass. Bump normals to the bump normals. Hold on. main goes to the main. Ah, we don't even have a diffusion filter now, so we don't need that. We don't have it. N goes to N, P goes to P. And you know, between those nodes, all those passes can have their own processing line. And what you do with this is totally up to you. So, I mean, I just can give you examples, but you know, it's just, you know, how to say, there's so many creative people out there in the ComfyUI community. They create workflows you can adapt and adjust for your needs. All right, so we see we have here the gathering, yeah, from the channels, reflections to reflections. Oh, okay, we use that new reflections, output, lens blur, I don't need, don't want. So let's okay. This comes from the main image, we don't want that, we want the reflections. Super bright. If I make gamma into 2, it will be normal, so I make it more bright than normal. This is our, how to say, routing tool. It routes everything what comes from somewhere goes to somewhere. And here I can plug in the channels, what I'm gonna work with. And now I can use the, you know, the EXR writer. We have different options, of course. We have the normal EXR writer. This writes a standard EXR, also in 32-bit, different compression. Excuse me. So, I use the Multilayer EXR writer. This is found Multilayer EXR writer. As you see on top, you always can change. You can change it to whatever you want. You know, those colors. And I want the image goes to image. I don't mess around with the alpha channel because I can blur it or I can do whatever, but it comes directly from the source image, so I let it through. I want right now only my combined layers, not the layers that come from the source, so I can recombine, I can, you know, that's the power of ComfyUI as an external tool. And the Cryptomat, of course, also goes to Cryptomat. So here what we have, the image we don't see, the background we don't need, there is no background. Here was a diffuse filter we don't have. But otherwise, okay, I mute this and we use this. I want, name it, yeah, go to Flame, G2F. And this goes to Confla, it comes from ComfyUI, it goes to Flame. G2F is the prefix. Go to Flame, enter. What do I want? Color space, linear, 16 now, we work with 32-bit now. Compression, we can uncompress, will be super fat. Yeah, I mean the file size is big. I use pits because it's fast and compresses well and it's lossless. Yeah, so I don't lose any pixel. So I can, you know, I can write in a version, for example, this is version 0. Yeah, but 0 means nothing, so we start with 1. Start frame, also frame pad. It's the padding, that's, you know, that's the number. And use the timestamp folder, yes or no. If not, this writes directly into the confla folder without any subfolder. And if yes, now it comes. Let's have a look how the confla folder looks already. ComfyUI output. So there's something in I need to delete because I messed around in the morning with that. So now it's nothing in there, nothing. And what right now, what's gonna happen is, if I click here on run, in that ComfyUI folder, a new timestamp folder will appear. And that happened, you know, if different Flame seeds send the workflow to ComfyUI processes and writes back into that folder, every Flame seed gets his timestamp folder, because ComfyUI writes on every execution a new subfolder. It means you never can overwrite anything, and your files are safe. And that's absolutely important if you have, you know, time-consuming motion vectors, or, you know, the depth map, or, you know, what you're not, what to say? Yeah, I lost the grip now. Okay, hold on, just let's go make that, what? Prompt outputs? How? This is nice. Of course, I need in my layer gathering, I need the layer informations, otherwise I cannot deal with anything. And I need an image input, otherwise I cannot deal with anything. And I can use my alpha, goes in the alpha, and the cryptomat comes from. So now we have a combination. Okay, there are the standard information from the source file we don't want to lose. And here it goes out, layer list. We can use another node, we don't need it yet. So right now we run it. So as you see, nothing is complicated. Everything is super easy if you just follow logical workflows. Let's have a look into that ComfyUI folder, must be. Okay, here we see we have a timestamp. It starts with 2025, that's our year. We have April 15 today, yes. And my time here in Shanghai is noon time, 12:30 now, and 7 seconds. Let's have a look what's inside. Wow, okay, I see a file. I've written. Let's check what it is. Let's go back to Flame. No, in Flame I don't want this. I delete this, and I delete this, and right now I want to just check first what we have done. We go to our ComfyUI folder, we have that subfolder, and we have that G2F. I put it in a reel, go to the timeline view, you know, use another reel, double click. You know, here in that little bar, click on multi. And now let's have a look what we have. Okay, I want to see the beauty path. See, not connected. Alpha channel. Cryptomat, must be Cryptomat, I see. The motion vector is nothing, of course. Normals. Yeah, but they're pretty strong. Position map, reflections. Oh yeah, okay, we mess around with the color and the reflection path. So, but anyway, so you see, you know, that's the logic behind. And now, I would say we can use, I will import a movie file. I will export the movie file as an EXR back and forth. This is a very easy workflow. There's just one input and one output node, but let's see what happened, right? So I go back to my Media Hub. I click on Option and click on that button. So I just need one click, so I find always my folders. Okay, let's go to some volumes. Maybe let's go to 12G footage, old footage. Yeah, hold on, it will load very fast. This drive is spinning up now. That's a slow drive, but you know, it's just a backup drive now. Because I emptied all my SSD space. Let's have a look. This. Malu. Yeah, why not? Here's footage coming from Fuji camera. Okay, I just used this. So I cannot see anything now. As you see, I cannot see, I don't know. Flame no handler, cannot handle anything about this. But of course, you know, myself allowed myself to develop something that's pretty cool. Let's have a look. Oh, that's my former colleague, Jade. Yeah. Okay, that's log. Come from Fuji is 4K, right? So let's have a look what it is. Yeah, that's UHD 10-bit. Comes from the Fuji camera and it looks pretty cool. Pretty awesome. So let's have a look. Alright, so she's walking. We have something like 300 frames. It's a bit too much for me. I go down. Let's say 100. Okay. Okay. Just let's. No, let's sit. Wait. I just want to see the face of that girl. Let's have a look at the face. Alright, from here, start from here. Yeah, that's fine. So this should be enough, I think. So we have something. Of course, we can mess around with the colors. Right now it's lock, right? Let's put a LUT on. With our 3D LUT. 10-bit, yeah, we have 10-bit. I go to user home LUT. Let's check Fujifilm. What was it? XT3. And yeah, so now we have a picture, right? So it somehow looks better. Nice. But we only use that little part here, this, right? This part we're gonna use now. All right, let's do it. You know, put it somewhere. So, ComfyUI, process with ComfyUI, EXR roundtrip, confirm, yes, yeah, whatever, it should be. So now, as we see, we write the sequence. ComfyUI gonna process this. Hopefully, where's my ComfyUI monitor? Yeah. Okay. Oh, I filled it up before with some other things, I guess. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. What happened? Init ComfyUI output. Let's have a look into the ComfyUI. I make a new window here and I will load from the desktop from my Flame ComfyUI workflows EXR roundtrip. Ah, yeah, okay, sorry. Yep, no, sorry, come back one more time. I just make ComfyUI, process with ComfyUI, go to my EXR roundtrip subfolder. This is already the, how to say, pre-tested version. So it's writing now, as we see. And it goes in, and what we get back very soon, hopefully back into our Flame, will be a file. Yeah, you know, that's the show effect, I think. No? Nothing? nothing processed. Let's have a look again. Into that, no, not into my email. Into the folder, this roundtrip subfolder. We does what? Output flagcom, linear, writer, confly image, linear, timestamp, yeah, should work. So, leave it. Let's have a look at the other folder first. Desktop. Okay, here we see the EXR inside, pits, EXR, everything have a size. I cannot open it now in the OS, but Flame and ComfyUI understand this pretty well. Let me go back to the ComfyUI server. Yeah, this one. I see there's something. I know. Yes, because I always clear. I open another window. I want to see what Flame is doing. Another window. Tile minus F. Temp. Right. And here we go to my pitch. I see. I need to make this to auto, guys. Yeah, otherwise ComfyUI, you know, I'm in China. So in China, I always need to make sure that I use a proxy, and the proxy and local server, they don't handle that well together. So that's why I need to make it, you know, let it pass through so I can reach it. Now you will see, we see already something, you know, in that beautiful folder here. We will see something if I select this. I go to ComfyUI process, go to my roundtrip folder, confirm, yeah. So now it goes. We see already something happen. Subfolder name. Oh, okay, I see. There are some frames written or not? Confla. We have a subfolder. Oh, here's only one inside. Ah, interesting. Yeah, nice. Actually, this is very cool. So we need to create our own workflow first. I used that workflow a couple of days ago before I redesigned the features. So we need to define our workflow now by ourselves. Gonna do that here, right now, live. Good. I understand what happened. And that's pretty good. That's why it's not on a release yet. I'm gonna release it on Friday. Let me find my beautiful Chromium browser. Where's the browser? I need to have that in the front. So I will kick off everything what I see. V. Put it away. We will give it a name, okay, guys. So right now we have nothing. There's nothing inside here. Let's work with the multi-layer, multi-EXR. Should we do that? Yeah, of course. Division. Multilayer EXR loader and a multilayer EXR writer. So we need those two because this is the input, this is the output. Here, yeah, we can, give it a color if we want. It doesn't matter because we export the workflow as an API workflow for the Flame Comfy turnaround. And right now, let's make nails. Okay, so the file path is output Flame. Yes, here we see a lot. Right now we make just image load cap. I want it 1, 2, 3. I just want to see 3 images. I want to see how it works. Alpha to alpha. Layers to layers. Cryptomat to cryptomat. That's it. And if you want to see, okay, what kind of metadata we have, show text. Show text, just use this. I want to see what is inside. Okay, let's make it a little bit more big here. Run it once, it goes, writes 3 frames. We have this are our metadata. Okay, we can put it away. I see the flows work. Go back to ComfyUI. We have a new subfolder. There should be 3 frames inside. We can see them. Oh, that's the girl. Yeah, linear as an EXR. Nice. I delete that. I delete all of this. Yeah, this is the most easy multi-layer EXR in out. But also, it should eat normal EXR coming from footage for breakfast, right? So the output gonna be an image here, footage, for example, and this is Flame. That's it. I don't need to save the workflow, just export it. Export as with an API, and now give it a name. Okay, this one is Multilayer EXR. Just IO. Confirm. So now this workflow downloads to my download folder. I go to my downloads folder, open it. I have my JSON, as we see. That's it. That's all. So in this one, I will drop into, hold on. I will drop into Flame Python, Flame ComfyUI workflows, and this one goes, where is it? Goes there. And this we're gonna use now, right? From Flame. So this should work without any Multilayer EXR IO. Let's try. Yeah, go. All right, something happened. Let's have a look into the ComfyUI output. Okay, nothing, because let's check the workflow once more. Okay, interesting. The workflow ML, yes, open with text made, so I can see that. This don't need. Okay, I see the input file part is this one, and this gonna be the loader. And here on the safer node, the writer node, through subfolder name, make it like this. Save. Go back to Flame, ComfyUI, process. Will something happen? Yeah, so now let's check Comfy. Oh, I see. What's this? Where's my ComfyUI? Okay, saving images looks good, but searching for timestamp folders. Should we have a look? What happened in there? And nothing. Why nothing? Okay, we need to check, we need to test it first. This, right. No, we make a test run. True. Select everyone. Start frame. Subfolder name. A. Run. Alright. We see something happen. We see something happen. Then we export the same workflow again. The workflow should be exported after testing, of course. New. Right, we see. Now, in our file, we have this output. There's a sub in, and there are all the files in from that. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, now I can delete that. Yeah, empty the bin. Cool. Now we export it again. This one, workflow. Now it's tested. Export as API. And we name it MLEXR. Just MLEXR, that's fine. Confirm. Cool. Open the folder. I want to bring this to my Comfy. Yeah, this is just a symbolic link that I go in the MLEXR. So the other one I delete because it wasn't working. Nobody need what's not working. Right, MLEXR JSON looks good. Now, before we do anything, I stop the server. I mean, ComfyUI. Start the ComfyUI server once more. Normally you don't have to do that, but you know, if everything works here on the same machine, resources are limited. So if that gets true without any, right, all the nodes are loaded. Nice. Okay, so actually this we don't need anymore, so I can kick it off. Because the workflow already exists, it's working. Now we do, now I go, first I clean the folders to have, you know, to have Flacom. I mean, they will be cleaned anyway. And Comfla, there's nothing in. Now let's Flame, rescan the hook. So ComfyUI, process with ComfyUI, EXR, confirm. So now it should work just fine. You know, I expect a sequence ending up here inside. Let's have a look. Something written or not. Desktop. No folder written. That's interesting. Let's check ComfyUI. ComfyUI maybe didn't even got a prompt. ComfyUI did got a prompt or not? There must be. Okay, that's the workflow, total text and blah blah blah. Interesting, interesting. All right, workflow, the job ID processing. Ah, hold on, what? I see, guys. That's the way. Okay. So I see I need to adapt the new for the new as well. Yeah, that will be a little work. Okay, go back to the workflow. I see what happened. I see exactly what happened. You know, that's my class, right? Load EXR to division. This node loads it up, put it in the workflow. But if it's not defined as this, if it's defined load multilayer EXR to division, this is not in the in that Python script, and so I need to check it. I need to recheck it. So, but how we can do is, let's check the normal workflow. This one is nice, but we see they have a different name. They have a different name. So no, let's see, it's division. I won't have an EXR loader and it's division EXR writer. Just to make sure that it works, right? Images, alpha, blah blah blah, batch size. Okay, how do we name it? Oh. This comes from output Flacom. All right, linear to linear. Should we test it once? Let's test it once. Does something happen? Yes? No? Yeah. So it loads the frames. Yes, the workflow, right? Oh, guys, this is the show effect, of course. So, but, it's cool that I make the recording before. If I go live and this happen, maybe I'm a bit nervous, but right now I'm not. That's so cool, man. So, okay, right now this works Perfect, fine, we will see. Have a look. We have a ComfyUI output, ComfyUI here, all the files in, yeah. At 12:57, just right now. Okay, we can delete that. This workflow. This one, workflow export API. This is just the EXR roundtrip with subfolder. Workflow export API. Confirm. Fine. No. We use that from the download. Python, output, workflows, put it in. Yeah, I know. Replace it. So, this one we don't need anymore. Leave it. That's cool. It will work. Flame, Python, rescan. So, we have nothing in the in and nothing in the out. So everything should happen complete automatically, right? I'll put it away. And here is nothing in. Nice and fine. Let's check this. Cool. Okay. ComfyUI process. EXR roundtrip subfolder, confirm. So now we wait until something happens again. Oh, something happened there. Interesting. Okay, now it just appears, you know. Let's have a look. So how many frames are this? Hey, come on, play. This. What is this? Ah. Why? I don't want. No. That's not cool. Oh, I see. What is this, man? This is absolutely. I know. This is all time the same shit. Let me have a look. I don't want to go to Fuji. I want to go to ComfyUI. This one I want to see. This is. What is this? It should be an EXR sequence. Oh, there we go. And of course it's a file sequence. Right? So import as file sequence, not as single pictures. Put it away. We have that. That's the video. That's the source video. Just let's do it one more time. You know, ComfyUI process. Yeah, do it. Let's have a look what happened. Okay, something happened. So we have it already here. Now we have our sequence, right? Yeah, perfect. And what is it? It is an EXR sequence. Exactly, yeah, all right. So now what we do now is we need to use our multi-tool EXR to make exactly the same. If we use an old workflow with a new definition, it will not work. So it means I need to redesign all the workflows, guys. Yeah. I have no chance. Right, now back to this. I create a new workflow. I will save that workflow. Now we have a look at our reference first. Come on the desktop, Flame Python. Hey, Flame ComfyUI workflows. Because we have one that works. This is this one, and I want to see one thing. Okay, this is the input, and this is the output. This definition need to be there. Subfolder name can be whatever, nothing, don't need. Start frame, padding, everything is fine. Right now, we do the same for our multi-channel, multi-layer, right? All right, that's already cool. I don't need that. This is another one. This is a translation workflow, guys. That's, you know, I get something from a website. It will be chunked up in edible Word fragments. Then Olama makes, local Olama makes a story out of it, writes a story, translates the story into different languages here, Chinese, Spanish. I can speak Spanish, French, Hindi, Portuguese, Italian, Japanese. Okay, but anyway, this is not our workflow now. And this was also not. So we make a new one. We make a new, clean, empty workflow. Nothing in there. Division, EXR, multi-layer loader. And we see there's a difference. It needs to be this is the loader, not normalize, blah, blah, blah. Exactly, and we have a writer, that's it. The point is, if it works within the workflow, it will work with Flame. Alpha to alpha, layers to layers, CM to CM. So just let it be like this and let it run now. I'll check. Something happened. Yeah, something happened. We see. The point is we need to check about what's written in the end. Oh, looks not too bad. We have a new timestamp. That's 1.07 p.m. No, guys. Let's have a look. If it works, yes, everything is written perfect. Let's check that output folder on the desktop from ComfyUI. We have a new output. And we have that just right now. Yeah, perfect. Delete it. And Flycom. Delete it. multi-bin. So now we have a loader and a writer that's working. Workflow export API. ML EXR. That should be enough. Confirm. All right. Now let's go to that. So we have in the downloads ML EXR. Come on, that's a list. This one, copy, desktop, Flame Python, ComfyUI, workflows. Now we override this, replace it. And guys, I dropped it away. Here we can see this is comes from the source video, right? Actually, it was H265 before. You cannot do it because you don't have it. Impossible for you to import H265. You know, highly efficient video codec files from iPhone or what. So you need to buy it first. Okay. Or just, just to make sure, rescan Python hooks. Let's have a look to our logs here. Yeah. ComfyUI process, ML EXR, confirm. Yeah, do it. So now I want to see what's going on there. Let's see. Okay. It doesn't need load to EXR. Yeah, guys. So I make a stop now because I see I need to make a switch, dynamic switch, because the normal EXR loader and writer works, as we have seen. Now I make a switch, an auto switch, in that software. I think dynamically on what happened, what the user decide. If the user decide to use a workflow with multi-layer, multi-channel EXR, then the prompt also should be sent without getting that. No. Okay, got it.